Hey guys, it's Sarah and I'm here with my first layout using the February Cheeky Studio package that I got from Tuesday. And this first part's going to be real time only because I have a lot to say and I didn't want to not have enough time to say it. So today I'm going to be using this sketch, and this is from Stick It Down Sketches, and I will have a link to their website and all that good stuff down below, but that is a sketch I'm going to be using today. And Cheeky Studio is working in collaboration with them this month, so the design team is using sketches that they have provided and also this silhouette cut that was provided by them as well. And I decided to use the sketch that went along with the cut, and I downloaded the cut and cut this out, and it's a really large heart with cutout hearts in the middle of it. So this is what I'm going to be using today to go ahead and get this layout here. And what I really like about this is the heart, you know, obviously when you put it in your software you can make it as big or as little as you want, and I made it really large, as you can see, and I cut it out of this pink cardstock, which is also going to outline my layout. So my pattern paper, which I just put my adhesive on, which I'll bring back in a second, is from Basic Gray, and it's an older paper and it's a really pretty floral, and I just hadn't used it yet, so I'm going to go ahead and use it here. And so I cut that down by about 1/4 inch, and it's going to, the pink cardstock there is going to peek out around the edges, as you can see. So it kind of helps give it a little bit of a center. And then I can put my heart on top of that, and I really like that a lot. There's a little bit of adhesive poking out here, as you can see, so I'm just going to rub my finger on it and get that out. And then what I'm going to do after that, it will get sped up here in just a second, but for the cutouts inside the large heart, what I'm going to do is I am going to back those with a ton of scrap pieces of paper. I have a little container, or a little bag, I guess you could say, that has a lot of scraps that are just tiny scraps that I don't want them to get lost. And some of them are 6x6 papers that I have cut down. So I'm going to use those up, some of them here. And this is my little thing here. As you can see, a lot of them are strips and things like that. And I'm going to use these to back the cutouts of these hearts here. And I'm going to go ahead and speed it up now. But as you can see, I'm going to take these out and I am going to kind of place them. I'm kind of picking out, you know, the color scheme I'm looking for. I'm looking for pinks and blues and browns mostly. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards here. And I am going to take them. I have turned my heart upside down so that I can glue them on the back. And I'm going to take them and turn these upside down as well so that I can draw the shape of the heart. And I need to also make sure I know which heart I'm cutting out. So I'm going to do one at a time, otherwise I would get lost. So I'm just going to go ahead and roughly cut out a larger heart than what is the cut there so that I have room to put my adhesive down, and I will put that down there. So I'm going to do this for all of these hearts, and I'm going to cut a lot of it out because it's very just monotonous. I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again. I do routinely turn it over just to make sure I have a good mix of the patterns, and I don't want any patterns next to each other, even though I'm doing a few hearts in the same pattern. So I'm just making sure I don't have them next to each other, and, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. So I do turn it over periodically and just make sure I like the way that it's looking and the way that it's turning out. All right, so I am going to skip ahead here and have most of it done now. So this is kind of the last part of it. And towards the end, I started really knowing how big I needed the pieces to be. So I just started cutting them in squares instead of cutting out hearts specifically. And so I have one more heart left, and I'm trying to figure out which piece of paper I'm going to stick there. I decided on this one, so I'm just going to cut out a little square and then get that done. And then that is going to be my heart cutout. And I'm going to go ahead and stick these back in here. I am going to pull this out first though. This is what was inside of there. And I'm going to pull a couple things that I can use as layering as well. And I think I only end up pulling those two. And then that little cut right there, I'm going to fussy cut out one of those little sentiments. But everything else I will save for later. And I'm just double checking and making sure there's nothing else I want to use. As you can see, these are a lot of like thin strips and stuff like that. I just don't want them to get lost in my big scrap bin. All right, I'm going to fussy cut this little piece here that says enjoy the little things. And I'm just going around and very loosely cutting it out. It's not precise by any means. And then I am going to go ahead and start putting my layout together. So I have my heart there. I'm going to have these two little pieces sticking out. And then from Tuesday's kit, there is this acrylic piece that says Sweet Girl. And I definitely wanted to use that here because this picture is of Layla and she was on our driveway. They were playing with the driveway, like, you know, the chalks and writing on the concrete and stuff. And she drew a big heart and she wrote, "I love mommy and daddy" in it. And that was just so sweet. And so I made sure I took a picture of that. So she is definitely my sweet girl. And I'm using a lot of adhesive on here because I have a lot of layers going on with those hearts. And I cut down her picture just a little bit because I want as much of those hearts to be seen as possible. And then for the Sweet Girl, I'm going to use some glue dots to put these down. I'm just going to put a couple glue dots in two spaces here. And that will be my title. And I am going to put this right here, and I'm going to have the T kind of go over the edge of the picture there. And then I'm going to stick this right here. And then for the kit, I'm going to be using a pink bow, and then I'm going to use some of these florals, which is from the Winter Floral die cut pack. And I'm going to use this little pink bow right on top there. And then I'm going to use a couple of these florals here, and I'm just going to decide what I want to use. I end up really liking this here where I just use a couple of these leaves and then a large rose. And I just like the way that it kind of takes up some of that space there. And then I'm going to do some more over on the left side of the title here. So I'm just going to do a smaller flower with some smaller leaves. And I just really like the way that these kind of snuggle in next to them. And it doesn't take away from the florals in the pattern paper either. So I like that. And then this little sticker here says love, and I'm going to go ahead and layer that up above the enjoy the little things cut out there. And then I'm going to use some of these winter sequins. So these go along with the color scheme from the Winter Florals, and I'm just using kind of one of each color in each little area. So I have a, it's kind of like a dark green, I would say, and pink, and then a silver as well. And those all came in that little sequence package, and I love them. So I'm using glue dots to put those down as well. And then that is going to complete my layout, you guys. So I have some close-ups coming up here for you. I also have the sketch at the end if you guys want to take a closer look at that. And I will have all the links, like I said, down below to not only the Cheeky Studio website, where you can also get 10% off by using a coupon code that I will have in the description, but also to the Stick It Down sketches, so you guys can check those out. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.